Well, peeps, I've been mentioning about the Friday the 13th franchise by adding a name of it on my videos for 7 times already. Well, consider it the 8th fucking time, because we're going to salute the entire franchise. Yeah. Friday the 13th is an American horror franchise that compares 12 slasher films, a television series, novels, comic books, video games, and tie-ins. Yeah. I even have a shirt that says, "I wish it was Friday." Yeah, poor Jason. Well, but lucky Jason Voorhees, yeah, Friday the 13th has passed, like I said on my Rent House episode. But, yeah, well, who the fuck cares? Let's get on with this motherfucking franchise. Hell yeah! Time to get all blood and guts all over this bitch. Alright. The franchise mainly focuses on the fictional character Jason Voorhees, who was thought to have drowned as a boy at Camp Crystal Lake due to the negligence of the camp staff. Yeah, I sure feel sorry for his mother, because she was feeling devastated because of his death. Alright, decades later, the lake is rumored to be cursed and is the setting for a series of mass murders. Jason is featured in all the films as either the killer or the motivation for the killings. The original film, created to cash in on the success of Halloween, yeah, that came in 1978. Okay, it was written by Victor Miller and was produced and directed by Sean S. Cunningham. The films have grossed out over $468 million at the box office worldwide. It was the highest grossing horror franchise in the world until Halloween from 2018 was released, putting the Halloween franchise in the top spot. Okay. So, well, I gotta say, it's really one of the best ones ever. So anyways, on May 9th, 1980, the very first Friday the 13th film was on that day. And the 11th sequel, that is Killer Cut, is the most recent one, which is released in February 13th, 2009. Oh, come on, we gotta have some more Friday the 13th films, do we? Alright, in the original Friday the 13th, Mrs. Pamela Voorhees stalks and murders the teenagers for preparing Camp Crystal Lake for a reopening. She is determined to ensure the camp does not reopen after her son Jason drowned in the lake due to the negligence of 2 staff members. The last counselor, Alice Hardy, fends off Mrs. Voorhees long enough to grab a machete and decapitate her. Oh, damn. Okay, in part 2, Jason is revealed to be alive and fully grown. After killing Alice, Jason returns to Crystal Lake to guard it from all intruders. 5 years later, a group of teens arrived at Crystal Lake to be trained as camp counselors, but Jason murders them. Ginny Field, the last counselor that he attempted to kill, finds a cabin in the woods, a shrine built around the severed head of his mother, Mrs. Pam Voorhees. Ginny fights back and slams a machete through Jason's shoulder. Jason Voorhees is left for dead as Ginny is taken away in an ambulance. Well, damn. Okay, during the events of Friday the 13th Part 3D, Jason removes the machete from his shoulder and finds his way to Chris Higgins' local homestead. Chris returns to her property with some teens, and Jason kills anyone who wanders into the barn where he is hiding, taking a hockey mask from a victim to hide his face. Yeah, I don't know why some people decided to make fun of Jason's face, if they thought about it. Okay, he leaves the barn to kill the rest of the group. Chris seemingly kills him with an axe to his head, but the night's events drive her into hysteria as the police take her away. And the final chapter continues where Part 3 leaves off, with Jason found by the police and taken to the local morgue after removing the axe. Upon arrival, he awakens to kill the coroner and a nurse before returning to Crystal Lake. Well, this is all fucked up right here. A group of teens rent a house on Crystal Lake and fall victim to his rampage. After killing the teens, Jason seeks out Trish and Tommy Jarvis, who live next door. While distracted by Trish, Jason is attacked and ultimately killed by Tommy. Well, damn, I cannot believe that Tommy Jarvis just shaved his head bald just to recognize Jason and other shit. What a sneak attack. Okay, a new beginning follows Tommy Jarvis, whom was committed to a mental health institution after the events of the final chapter, and grew up constantly afraid that he would return. Roy Burns uses Jason's persona to become a copycat killer at a halfway home which Tommy has moved. Tommy, Supervisor Pam, and a young boy named Reggie managed to defeat Roy. They eventually learned that Roy had a son whom was murdered by one of the patients at the institution, triggering Roy to take on Jason's likeliness and kill everyone there. In part 6, Jason Lives begins with, once again, Tommy Jarvis visiting Jason's grave after being released from another mental institution. He evidently resurrects Jason with a piece of the fence surrounding the cemetery acting as a lightning rod. By fucking mistake! What a complete fatal mistake to bring the deceased villain back to life. That is fucked up. Okay, so Jason immediately heads back to Crystal Lake and kills the people working at the new summer camp. Tommy eventually chains Jason into a boulder that he tosses into the lake, where he leaves Jason, who is revealed to be alive. Yeah, come at now, maggot head! You fuck! Faggot ass. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, part 7, The New Blood. Yeah, part 7, The New Blood. It was the first Friday the 13th film that I ever got. Okay, so The New Blood begins in an intermediate length of time after Jason Lives. Jason is resurrected again by the telekinetic Tina Shepard, who is trying to resurrect her father, whom Tina caused to drown in the lake when she was a child. He once again kills those who occupy Crystal Lake and is returned to the bottom of the lake after a battle with Tina. Tina! Tina! Sorry about that. I must have been thinking about the angry grandpa when I mentioned that name. Okay. Jason is resurrected again in Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. By an underwater electrical cable, he follows a group of students of their senior class cruise to Manhattan, where he kills the ship's crew and majority of the students. Upon reaching Manhattan, he chases Rennie and Sean, the two remaining students, into the sewers. Jason eventually melts away because the sewer is flooded with toxic waste. Ah, damn! Is he really dead for sure? When you're thinking about the Paramount universe, yeah. Okay, in Friday the 13th, Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. It is the first film that's ever been released by Warner Brothers under the name New Line Cinema. He, though an unexplained resurrection, is hunted by the FBI at Crystal Lake. The FBI sets up a sting that successfully kills him. Though through possession, Jason manages to survive by passing his black heart from one of the next. It is revealed that he has a sister and a niece, and that he needs to get his body back. Jason resurrects himself, but his niece, Jessica Kimball, stabs him with a mystical dagger, and he is dragged into hell. Well, I'll be damned. Okay, Friday the 13th, Part 10, Jason X. Yeah, the 2001 film that was never released until 2002. Yep, 1 year before the GameCube came by. Okay, Jason X takes place in the future, when Jason has again been inexplicably resurrected. A scientist, Rowan LaFontaine, decides that cryonic suspension is the only method of fucking stopping him. But fucking Jason breaks free and kills the damn army personnel guarding him before he could be again imprisoned. Okay, Rowan manages to lure Jason into the cryo chamber, but he ruptures the tank and freezes both himself and Rowan. Over 400 years later, a team of students studying Earth discover Jason's body and take it into space. Upon being thawed by the team, he proceeds to murder everyone aboard the spacecraft. Oh shit, what is this? I cannot believe that there is a serial killer inside the space. He is seemingly killed, but is then resurrected via nanotechnology as a cyborg version of himself. Finally, he is ejected into space and incinerated by Earth's 2 atmosphere, his mask falling to the bottom of a lake. Man, I cannot believe I see such sacrifice. A fucking hero risking his life to take down Jason. Okay, so now a crossover film with Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It was a crossover with Freddy Krueger, set in a contemporary period. Freddy Krueger resurrects Jason and sends him to Springwood, hoping that he will create enough fear among the residents that Freddy will be strong enough to invade their dreams. Jason accomplishes this, but refuses to stop killing. A battle ensues both in the dream world and at Crystal Lake. The outcome is left ambiguous, as Jason surfaces from the lake holding Freddy's severed head, which winks and laughs. What the fuck? Okay, in 2009, Part 11, Killer Cut, which restarted the film series continuity, was released in this film after witnessing his mother being beheaded at the young age. An adult Jason follows in her footsteps and kills anyone who comes to Crystal Lake. Jason Voorhees subsequently kidnaps a young woman, Whitney Miller, who resembles his mother at a young age. 6 weeks later, after her disappearance, her brother Clay Miller comes to look for her. The pair reunite and work together to seemingly kill Jason. Well, goddamn. I've seen the merchandises about this, and what do I see? They sure had so much hard work. So much hard work for an R-rated film, don't y'all think? Yeah, even the music score sure is suspenseful. I can tell you that. It was sure is scary. I wonder if it's gonna be useful to be scary for fucking Halloween. So in conclusion, my fellow peeps, I recommend the Friday the 13th franchise, but I sure as hell would not recommend the Nintendo Entertainment System release, or the fucking Commodore 64 for that matter. But anyways, I could give a fuck less if any of the movies had bad reviews. These movies are still fucking worth it. Especially Freddy vs. Jason. If you don't like the fucking franchise, better watch out, because Jason Voorhees is gonna haunt you one of those days. No, I'm just kidding, my fellow peeps. But seriously, if you don't like the franchise at all, that's okay.